Hey guys, this is Andy from underdogchance.com and welcome back to my MLB betting model predictions and projections for Monday, July 22nd. Yesterday, only one qualified bet, although I again beat the closing line, it was not a winning bet. But let's move to today's games. I think I have three qualified bets. And let's start with the first game, Tampa Bay Rays Yankees. This is early game. Based on my betting model, Yankees will have 60% of chance to win this game. My projected odds minus 150 or 1.67, bookmakers 1.61. As I mentioned a couple of times, I always use decimal odds. I don't see any value in this game, in full game, but I think there is small value with Tampa Bay Rays in first five innings, maybe a smaller run line because I have Tampa Bay Rays in first five innings at 2.17, bookmakers 2.5. Detroit Cleveland, Tarek Skubal against Carlos Carrasco. Skubal, great pitcher. Based on my projections, Detroit should be small favorite. They are small favorite, so no value here, but maybe small value in first five innings when we look at starting pitchers where Detroit will have the advantage. Okay, St. Louis against Pittsburgh, Palante against Mitch Keller. Based on my projections, there is no value. My model has this close to 50-50. Also, I don't see enough value in first five innings, although I think there is small value with St. Louis. Cincinnati, Atlanta. Based on my projections, this could be much closer game, and because of that, Cincinnati is 1.5 unit play as an underdog. Then we have Philadelphia, Minnesota, Rangers, Suarez, Bailey, Ober. I think there is a value with Minnesota, and even better value with Minnesota first five innings, especially if you could take it for a run line. But I saw that odds already dropped to minus 105, so the value is much smaller. I can reproject this. Okay, so right now Minnesota 1.95, and let's see what is adjusted Kelly 0.83. So these numbers went down. Okay, so I think I received one question: how to select the unit sizes. I use adjusted Kelly criterion for baseball. There are different ways how to do this. It also depends what is your bankroll, how much money you have for betting, what is your overall financial portfolio. So this is a little bit. You always need to look at the bigger picture. For example, at the start of the season, half of the money is in bitcoins from baseball bankroll. Half is here because I also believe that bitcoins will make profit. And then from this bankroll, I usually try to stick within 1 to 2 units, which means 1 up to 2% per game. And then I use adjusted Kelly 10 adjusted Kelly criterion. And if I think I have it here, just a second. Yes. So if this number shows 1.25 or bigger, it is 1.25 unit. It is basically 1.25%. If 1.5 is 1.5 unit, 1.75, 1.70, and anything above 2 is 2 unit. Okay, so minimum is 1.25 and the biggest is 2 units. In the past, I was tracking all these unit sizes, and the best place were with 2 units or more, beating the line more than 92% of times, beating the pinnacle closing times more than 90% of times, which is great. So with where I have a little bit more value, then this is a little bit better, bigger. This is a little bit bigger play, okay? But this is not the same for every sport because some betting models are a little bit more complex, like baseball with lineups models. Then, if you create something else, for example, international basketball, you can use simple unit size money management, or maybe 1 or 1.5, 1.5, or up to 2 units, depends on the discrepancy between your spreads. I basically show I think 4 or 5 different concepts for sports betting models that you can implement for basically any sport you want. So I have created sports betting models where we have the lineups, where we have team-based models, and even one betting model where which was assisted by AI, and then I implemented in the spreadsheet. So though there is a lot of ways how to do it, but in general, if you find more value, you should bet a little bit more. Okay, if your betting model is showing profitable results in the long run, always in the long run. So not this month, not 1 year, because if let's as I said many times, we start talking about betting results when you have 1,000 bets, and if you don't track closing line value or if you don't have detailed records, then the more bets you have, the better picture you have, right? But in general, if you have the edge and if your betting model or your betting system has the advantage, then if you find a little bit more value, it is also recommended to bet a little bit more, right? And if you don't have the edge in the long run, there will be no profit anyway. So no matter if you bet big, less, or whatever, right? That's why it is important to track it. Even when you are on a losing streak, even when you have losing months, losing season, losing or winning season, or always track, analyze bets, and of course, after some period of time, you can always check what went wrong, how you can improve it, and this is a journey. Because if you bet for 10, 15, 20 years, not always will be perfect, not always will be green, but in the long run, if you do it correctly, then you can make profit. I see usually bettors who make bets for half year, maybe 1 year. Things are not that great, and then they stop. Okay, so I was doing bets and analysis for every single day. When I started, when I was 18, 19 years, I started with comparing bookmakers' odds, taking the advantage. And then later, when I started creating betting models, I was doing first 5 years without big success. And then I started hitting winners and making money in next 15 years. And I came to the point where I don't need to bet anymore, and I was financially free, so I could escape 9 to 5. So it was not uh, in just in first 5 months or first 3 months, right? Most people just want big success in first 3 months, or maybe first season, or first year. It can happen, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Okay, it is important to be persistent, disciplined, and keep working. And I didn't discover hot water here, because if you ask any coach or any successful person in the world, no matter if he's a movie actor, athlete, very successful businessman, he will say the same. Just you need to keep working, and in the long run, the results will come. Right. And sometimes also not, right? This is something also we need to be aware. Sometimes, because we always study successful people, right? Nobody studied those who did the same thing and they didn't survive, or they didn't make success. This is the concept which is named survivorship bias, because we have one bias, because we always study successful people who have success in the long run, but we simply ignore all those who did the same and didn't succeed. But no matter what we do, at the end of the day, we still need to risk. We still need to try things, because this is the only way to win. If you don't try, if you don't risk, you will not win. Because the only way is to try things. Maybe you lose, but this is also one way to win, right? If you don't try, you don't win. You will stay at the same point, and this is definitely lost, because there is no average thing in sports betting, and also in life or sports betting or anywhere else. There's no average, because there are always people who are trying to get better. And first day there will be three people better, the next day it will be 10 people better, and you're always going down, right? So you need to keep going up with them if you want to stay in this game. Philadelphia, Minnesota. I think there, yeah, as I said, I think there's some value with Minnesota. Then we have White Sox, Texas. I don't see enough value with full game, but in first 5 innings, I saw a value with Chicago White Sox for 2 units with run line. Okay, then we have Milwaukee, Chicago Cubs, no value. Arizona, Kansas, we have Arizona with new pitcher, so I would stay away. Boston, Colorado, no value. Houston, Oakland. Oakland is probably slightly underrated, but not good enough. Angels against Seattle. Based on my projections, Seattle will have close to 64% of chance to win this game. So maybe small value with Seattle in this one. And the last game, San Francisco against Dodgers, not enough value. Okay, so that's it for me today. I hope you got a couple of ideas. I'm still on an island right now. During the summer, I spent time on an island, and when I will come back, I still have a couple of things to do, and then I will start recreating and refining some betting models with new things. I'm always saying I will go more and more into esports, and I will try to do this this year, because right now I also have two people helping me with everything, and then I can have a little bit more time uh, to to spend my energy for the things where I'm the best. So I don't need to spend time for some basic things and answering basic things. So I can go really deep with some little bit, let's say, more complex things, and other things can be outsourced to someone else, and then my energy and focus can be better for some betting models and some improvements. But let's see, because I'm still very very happy with betting model, and anyone who is professional at sports betting. Anyone who understands sports betting, when you see that beating the closing line more than 73% of times, and most of the times the odds are dropping, it is still good. Yesterday, for example, I can check yesterday. For example, yesterday, Boston 1.72, the closing line, and we're talking about pinnacle, both pinnacle odds. It was 1.56. So both CLV 10% and 6.56%, no weak pinnacle, right? So anyone who is professional at sports betting, who understands sports betting, those are those are good numbers. So I wouldn't change a lot. So I still believe the things should turn around, and there's still a lot of games. Okay. Uh, so that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and whatever decide to take, never blindly follow anyone, including me. Okay, so I'm not here to share picks, to follow picks, or to sell picks or something like that. I just want to show my way of spreadsheets, my way of betting. I think that every sports bettor should create such spreadsheet for no matter what you bet. Okay, of course it should be successful too, but this should be how you present your bets or your analysis. So you get your numbers, then you compare with bookmakers numbers, then you calculate the value, and then you decide with some formula how much you will bet. I think this should be a standard in sports betting community, sports betting industry. And of course, every sports bettor should show something like this. And then, of course, we could see some people would lose, some people would win, but this should be the standard of presenting your sports betting work. Okay. Right now, I received a couple of emails every single day. I receive some emails, spammy emails from some Bookie LA or something like that. I never subscribed to this, and then I checked them. They had I don't know, like 47,000 emails subscribers. I tried to check what are their results for last 10, 20 years. There is no such thing, right? So I don't know. I don't know how people are hyped up for such things, but I think that everyone should present. So something I think that everyone who is betting and who is sharing picks like this should present picks like this, because even if you buy a car, you go to the car seller and you will see every detail about the car, right? This is something that is not happening here uh, in sports betting community. But I really don't care that much about the betting communities. I don't talk about this. I just focus on my own thing. I don't care. Sometimes I see on Twitter people are arguing about handicappers, about bettors. I don't care about this. I simply focus on my thing. I try to make money. I try to be better. I try to help others to do the same. This is with the way that I did already did 10 years ago, since I escaped 9 to 5, and I try to live my own life, and I will keep doing this. So because I simply love it, so I simply focus on my thing. I never comment anything negative on other. I don't know. I'm not doing these things, okay? But I see that people are arguing and fighting about betting, about everything, and I think this is complete waste of time. Just focus on your own thing, because the other day I saw one nice quote. It was something like, "We didn't choose when we were born. We don't know when we will die, but we can decide how we will live." And I think this is great, because we can always decide how we will live, and there are positive things and there are negative things. And if you want to have positive life, simply ignore negative people, negative life, negative things. The losses will come, bad times will come, bad periods will come, and I'm happy. I'm very happy. I have very good community, small community also. My members, also my email subscribers, you're all amazing. But I'm talking about in general, right? So just focus on positive things. Of course, when things are great, be humble. When things are not doing that great, don't panic. Just keep going. Observe things, improve things, and I always believe that if you're doing right, the results will come. I saw this in my life many times. Once I decided that I will go all in, and then I started pushing. But always, of course, it is very important that if you bet on sports, I recommend that sports betting should not be the only income stream in your life, because I was living from sports betting only. This was like 15, 17 years ago, before I escaped 9 to 5, right? Before I was living from sports betting, then I was working a little bit, and then later I was living only from sports betting for a couple of years, and then I started seeing things a little bit differently. So I started reinvesting things, and then once you have a little bit more income streams, then every single bet, when you lose it, it is not a disaster. Also, not every single month, it's not a disaster. I see people, they start betting thousands of dollars, and they simply don't separate American odds from decimal odds. They don't know how to calculate probabilities. They don't know how to remove the week, or calculate closing line value numbers. I think all those things are can be learned in I don't know, in 1 week, and then you have better advantage against others, right? Because I saw so many people, they started betting or started showing some picks or bets or whatever for 1 year, 2 years, and then they disappear. And those who are still here for 10 years, they are very good at basics, and I think that everyone should understand the basics. But again, I didn't discover a hot water here as well, because what everything that I say, this would someone else said to you, if you would be athlete, if you would be a businessman, if you ask, I don't know, Elon Musk, Michael Jordan, or what, they would say the same things. Just keep going, be positive, ignore negative things in your life, negative people, negative things. Always improve. Be very good at basics. Be disciplined, and so on. So I didn't say something smart, but those are the things we sometimes need to remind us. And results will come. Results will come if you're persistent, if you're passionate about something, if you're doing well, if you observe your work, and if you improve, the results will come. Okay, that's why I always say, always invest in your knowledge, because if you invest in other people's speaks, in other people's systems, in other people's betting models, and then you type like a blind monkey, it is basically the same than following peaks. Always invest in your knowledge, no matter what you do, because once you invest in your knowledge, you're investing in the future. But if you invest in sports picks, then you're investing for the past, because past performance is not a guarantee for future results. But if you have the knowledge, this is the best bet and best chance that you will win in the future, or if you like, that you will have better chance to handle next problems in the future, because sports betting is problem solving thing. Markets are changing, competition is changing, but the concepts, some concepts will stay the same. You always need to find plus CV, right? And you can do this by comparing bookmakers odds, by doing arbitrage, by as I said, steam betting when you check the line movement, or you simply do your own numbers-based analysis with sports betting models, which all bettors will come at the end to sports betting models, because you cannot always rely on soft bookies. Once you start betting $1,000 or more on a game, then you need some of your unique system, because you cannot bet constantly 1,000 American dollars on a soft bookie, because they will ban you, and then you will argue with them on Twitter, because you don't have a betting skill. You simply compare Pinnacle odds with soft bookmakers odds, and then when soft bookmakers will ban you, and then you complain on Twitter because they banned you. So maybe it is time to learn the concepts of betting. Maybe it is the time to try to build your own unique system, or your own unique betting model, and then it is much easier to dance in the long run with sports bookies. Okay, but this is just my view. Whatever you do, and if you're making money from sports betting, if sports betting helps you live better life, like my life, so sports betting changed my life. I live the dream. I never dreamed that I will live such a life, and that I will escape 9 to 5 10 years ago, and I didn't even dream about this. That I didn't know that I don't even need to bet anymore. So I was not. I never dreamed that I will be in this position. So sports betting definitely helped me to do this, and I want to pass this message to other people. So how can they do it? So if you're doing great, if sports betting help you live better life, if you made money, if you escaped 9 to 5, if you built a good portfolio, if you made profit with sports betting and reinvested in stocks, in bitcoins, in whatever, in your business, in your knowledge, in your health, whatever, then great. No matter what system, no matter uh, what what method you use, even if you follow picks. I don't know if this works. I have never seen anyone making real money, or changing life, or escaping 9 to 5 through sports betting, who is following sports picks. But if maybe there are some people, and if this is working for you, great, right? I just want to share my way, my everything that I learned, and I think that such thing is important if you want to win in the long run. So no matter what you do. So during the COVID, for example, I created esports betting model, and I didn't just try to pick winners on esports, and I didn't just try to, I don't know, read news about esports. I simply created exactly such spreadsheet for esports. I calculated my winning percentages. I have created lineups for players. I calculated my probabilities, I calculated the odds, and then I was comparing with bookmakers' odds. Of course, the discrepancies were a little bit bigger, because the betting model was not perfect, because I also didn't have all the information, because esports, for example, this is still new. There is not a lot of statistics yet, not a lot of sharp bettors yet. But I still created a spreadsheet where I simply calculate my own odds and compare with bookmakers' odds. And this is something I think every sports bettor should focus on at some point, if you want to make a little bit more money, if you want to make some change through sports betting. Okay, and again. even if you lose, this is the right way, okay? Because then you know why did you lose. If you track it, then you can improve it. But if you don't track it, if you don't have the numbers, and if you say I just pick the games because I thought this is a good bet, how can you improve this way of betting? You cannot, right? So in the long run, if you stay in the game, you need numbers and analysis. So that's as again, I didn't discover hot water because every single business use analytics, no matter Nestle, Coca-Cola, stock investors, financial investors, whatever, even presidential elections, they use analytics. Who are voters? Male, gender, I would say gender, age, whatever. There, it's all about analytics. It is all about numbers. Nobody is doing gut feelings decisions anymore in this world anymore. I don't know. Only I see only many sports bettors are just following some other people speaks or making opinion based bets. And no wonder why 95% of people lose. And that's why I think that learning the concept of sports betting and building betting models, calculating odds, probabilities, is the right way to do. Because once you understand the concept, then you can build, I don't know, your own unique system for rugby, for, I don't know, whatever you want, right? If you don't understand the concepts, then you always rely on other people's speaks. And if you start following someone who is, I don't know, it can be, I don't know, 5 years, great results, and then he will have one bad season, and then you're again losing. You're then again losing better, right? But if you learn the concepts, then you can start building your things. Okay, but again, this is just my opinion. Uh, uh, no, don't listen me. I just share the opinion, and of course, some people will take it and maybe it will help them. But whatever opinion you take, whatever advice you take from the internet, it is always your responsibility if you take the action. So every single person must take the responsibility, okay? Because there's a lot of information. Someone else will tell you something else. It is your responsibility if you'll take advice or not. And I'm just sharing what I think is great, but don't listen me. Do whatever you think is the best for you, and if some of my advice or my idea will help you, then great. Okay, that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.